Hey. Hello,
B.
folks. Welcome to the show that almost didn't happen.
Yeah. Uh,
Yeah,
what
no,
a great
I'm
intro.
the. This is
Well done.
Cakes. Yeah, welcome to One Versus One Me. But yeah, welcome to the show that almost didn't happen. I literally
Forgot
got a
about
phone call
all of
from
you.
Cakes. Yeah, 20 minutes ago saying, "Am I getting a link then?" And I'm like, "Huh? Oh fuck, it's Sunday." So yeah, didn't even know it was Sunday.
Well done.
So
I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of
yeah.
you. How is everybody? How are you? Chuckles, what you been up to?
Red Dead Redemption 2, pretty much solid. Um,
Wow.
yeah, that's why I think I'm so off. It feels like it was 2 or 3 days ago that we were live. I've been hunting and holding up stage wagons and robbing banks and doing all the awesome stuff that you dream about in the cowboy days. Like it's been absolutely awesome. One of the best games I've ever played. It really is. Totally distracted me. Totally distracted me. Love it.
Yeah,
I'm
you've
even
been
in a good mood. I
terrible.
don't even feel shit or anything. Like, I mean,
Wow.
yeah.
Hello Lee. Hello Paul. Hello Tooth Number. Hello Vlad. Hello Jed. And no worries, madam. Thanks for stopping by. How is everybody there? How are all of you guys in the chat? I'm pretty good. I
Yes,
have a
hope you're
cucumber in the
all
garden
well.
like this big.
Oh wow. So
So
how big
excited.
did I get?
Like
I'm not.
this big?
I like cucumber are the one thing. Like if I see that in a sandwich you buy off the shelf, I'll like open up the thing. No, like cucumber. Fuck that. Ugh. Anything else will go in.
Really?
Yeah, I hate
The
cucumber.
cucumber's
It's got
basically
ice.
water.
Yeah, no, it's got horrible, weird, bitter taste to it. It's not good. It's not good. I don't like
Bitter?
them. It's I
What
don't even like the
planet are you
smell.
on?
I don't even like the smell.
I have cucumber water. You just put some
Ooh.
cucumber in the water and
Oh,
give it a
that's
shake.
worse than that sounds worse than watermelon.
It's like spot. I don't understand. Why don't you like watermelon? What's wrong with watermelon?
I don't like any melons. I'm terrible. I'm the
But
fussiest
these
person ever. But
melons.
I'm more of an arse man.
No. So's Dan, but I think we've had this conversation
Yeah,
before.
yeah.
We're not close at all. I don't understand how you can't like watermelons. That's baffling. You've
Yeah.
mentioned it before, and I just kind of I had to glaze past
I-
it because that's shocking. It's like sweet water. What's wrong with you? Cucumbers are gross. Rather take a bullet in the head. Watermelon is awesome. I don't
See, I'm with you
understand.
there on the cucumber, definitely. Yeah.
Like
Uh,
the only vegetable that I'd rather not have is butternut squash and
I don't
cauliflower.
taste
Like I'd
squash.
rather not have them just because cauliflower is boring. Like I'd rather have broccoli.
No. Oh, no, that's horrible as well. Oh my! That's the bitty veg that falls apart in your mouth and has no. No. So I'm
You're
not a veg
weird.
person. This is why I will probably die at 150 because I just don't eat enough to put my body through any strain of having to digest it. I
Okay,
know it sounds counterintuitive, but you wait and see. You
sure.
wait and see. When you're dead at fucking 70 and I'm still going,
I'm gonna live a lot
you'll be
longer than
like, oh
70.
shit.
Squash is nasty. Cauliflower is good. Cauliflower is good when it's like really spicy, like bang bang cauliflower. That's beautiful. It's just really spicy. Like Dan only has to like look at it and his mouth's on fire because I live with babies.
Yeah, no,
Fruit
really,
and
really not
vegetables are
good.
for fairies.
Yeah.
Then I'm a fairy. Deal with it, bitch.
See, like I said,
um,
well, like I said, if I didn't have to eat, like if it wasn't a necessity, I wouldn't. It would be something I chose not to do. So, yeah, that's my relationship with food.
you're weird.
Yeah.
You're weird.
Although I love cooking, I absolutely love cooking. It's yeah.
I count strawberry azu as my five a week. Cauliflower with cheese sauce, pulled pork, and some spuds. Yum. Well, yeah, no, I can't really have any of those.
See,
So
I don't do pork.
you
Yeah,
don't eat pork either, do you? No,
no.
no. So you've lost
Although
both
it
of us
sounds
there.
good, don't get me wrong, right? I mean, I love pork, but it's just, yeah, I can't eat it anymore. It's going, unfortunately,
It's
yeah.
icky. Ick, ick,
It
ick, ick,
is.
ick, ick. So, oh, okay, cauliflower with, oh no, that's the same message. Fucking idiot. Fuck's sake.
Deja vu.
I was like, well, okay, this is
But,
the show
yeah.
now. We're talking about cauliflower. Deal with it. It's called bloemkool in Dutch, by the way. Bloemkool. There you
Okay.
go. Have some information. Have some Dutch. So what have you guys been doing? What have you all been up to? Have you watched any of my videos, Chuckles?
Yes,
Filmed
I
in my
watched
garden.
your Rain ASMR video.
ASMR. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it was
But
raining
that
and
was
I
pretty
just
cool
sat by
actually,
the.
because yeah, I literally just stuck it on through my morning games, like, and like, 'cause I do my phone game in the morning, and it was, yeah, just something to wake up to in a way, like, yeah, it was
I
nice.
was surprised at how well my phone picked that up because I was cooking and I have this like kitchen stool because I'm 5'4". I can't reach the top with the stool anyway. I need to get the chair. Um, but I was sat on the stool by the back door, just watching the rain while I was cooking because I love it. And I thought, fuck it, why I'll just film it for a few minutes. Um, and I filmed it once, and then Dan and Freddie started talking during it. So I was like, okay, well, we'll stop that one and we'll go again. But it was kind of lucky that they did because then the rain started really, really coming down, and I was like, well,
Hmm.
awesome. One of my cats is attacking
Did
the
you
box where we
catch
store the pasta.
did you catch Vlad's Thunder video the other day?
No, it's for tonight. I haven't managed to catch it yet. I've been quite, I want to say quite busy, when in actual fact I haven't really been that busy. I've just been busy doing nothing. Do you know what I mean?
It's, yeah, yeah, no, I know, I kind of know.
You've gone roboty, mate. So I'm going to carry on talking. Um, yeah, like everybody in this little
Oh,
circle of people seems to be putting out loads of stuff, loads of videos, and it's difficult for me to catch up. So I'm trying to catch up on everybody's videos. Like you've got Vlad posting loads, you've got Jed posting. Actually, I don't think Jed's posted anything this week. If he has, I just haven't got the notification. And then you got the VB's live streams, which I still haven't caught up on. And now
I
we're
don't think Jed has, but yeah.
well, now we're watching some of Jamie's as well. Um, there's quite a lot of stuff
Oh, you catched
actually
up with Jamie.
happening.
Now, see, no, I got pissed off, like, yeah, with Jamie, unfortunately. Well, not with Jamie, but with his fucking, the way his things going now. Like I say, I mean, I'm sure he'll sort stuff out, but yeah, I've been getting timed out on his channel a bit. So
Oh wow. No, I watched for
yeah,
like 10 minutes on Monday, I think it was, and then I had to go do stuff. Yeah, I was cooking actually. What a surprise. But I watched I went on a little bit on Saturday just before I went on Jed's, and then I was in the chat. But it's a bunch of snowflakes. It's a bunch of mind-numbingly stupid, simple snowflakes, and it's just something that I can't even deal with at all. I, but I still wanted to be a good friend, so I've been like popping over. What I say, good friend. I popped over once this week, and I said hello. Trolled some people. Some people didn't
well,
like my
yeah,
opinion, so I left
yeah, and
because I
that's
had
it.
better
It's
things
a
to do.
good. Well, it was a good place for me to go to let off a bit of steam and troll some morons. And yeah, now start getting timed out. It's like, no, that's just gonna wind me up. I don't want to go falling out with Jamie again. I'm saying stupid. So
Yeah, I
I just won't
mean,
go back. And I won't go back until his mom and Steve. I think it was a guy called Steve.
are they who keep
He,
timing you out then?
yeah, yeah. So,
Jen, the precious snowflake.
once they've had their blues taken away from them, we'll see. If it happens, like I say, it's not a major issue. Like you say, it's not something you want to be going to watch really anyway. So
No, I mean they don't put out content. I mean Jen certainly doesn't put out content that I want to watch. I think Steve actually commented on my rain video the other day, but nobody's actually timed me out yet. So maybe I'm being too polite. Maybe I need to up my game a little
you
bit.
know,
Maybe that's the goal.
yeah, I've been going well, I've just been saying how it is, really, like not like trying to say anything really bad or anything, but just saying what comes up in conversation. And yeah, I mean, most of these guys almost like it seems like they want to be trolled in a way. It's so they can get all the white knights around them and see like, oh, look, all these people supporting me. Like, oh, aren't I popular? Oh, I'm not just some sad fuck who's like sits around drinking all day.
Yeah, the piss head. Yeah. Hang on, let's catch up. So, oh God, you're going too fast. One sec.
Yeah, it's oh, yo, hyena, how's it going, man?
Did you see last night's video from Corkin Island, Jed? Oh no, on what happened. Okay, have better Wi-Fi. We'll be uploading more videos now. That's great, Vlad. Some spread unsub Jamie's channel. Fair enough. And hello, welcome. Vlad was never subbed. Mate, you need to click to accept to watch it on BitChute. I'll drop the link in your last video. My browser blocks BitChute. Okay, fun. Hyena. Whee! Tried to watch a few of Jamie's in the last week. No change really, not for me. I feel like it's got dumber. You know, I feel like it's got the intellect has dropped a lot since all of us stopped appearing on his channel. That's not to say Jamie's intellect's dropped, not at all, but the content of his videos have dropped substantially, in my opinion.
You know, if you actually look at Jamie when his guests are being trolled, he's got this little smile on his face.
Yeah.
He knows he's loving it, and you can see he's thinking, "Thank fuck, somebody that can actually say this." Like, because he
I don't know
obviously
why he's
wants
been a
subs.
pussy about
He
it.
wants
Yeah.
people because he wants. He wants.
We've lost D again. Numbers over like quality is kind of how it feels. A group of black lads. You're a robot. Wait till you've come back. Nobody can hear you. Shush. A group of black lads carved up a white kid's face.
But yeah, no, that's exactly what it is.
Are you okay?
Sorry, I'm cutting in and out here.
You are. I know. I told you to shut up, and I'll read things. You be quiet. I'll handle the show. Don't worry. It's fine. Anyway, as I was, a group of black lads carved a white kid's face. The video is on them stabbing him further in the back with some white girl trying to protect him. Fucking hell. Oh, Jesus Christ. I don't really want to see that, but I am kind of curious as to what narrative that fits into. His channel ID for networking. His channel is for networking. Yeah, it is. And then Vlad says, I'm only subbed to VB Jed, Cakes D, One versus 1 me, and OJ Simpson. But no, that's kind of shocking.
OJ McBaggins, I think, and that's somebody I'm actually not subbed to, but.
Oh, Richard's here. Richard French. Yo, what's up, my lovely peeps?
Richard.
Hello, Holmes.
Sorry, I'm having some major internet issues tonight, obviously, because my chat is like that's still not popped up.
We can tell.
And obviously my cam keeps going and stuff. But hey, there we go. Yo, Rich, how's it going, man? Oh yeah, I am. So I've just seen it on the PC there. It's caught up. The yours is nice and clear, but yeah. So you'll be happy about that. Yo, Dorian. Juan.
Hello, Juan. Dorian.
Yeah, for fuck's sake, what the fuck is going on? Unfortunately, my brain, I had 20 minutes to think of a title. So it was like, what the fuck, for fuck's sake, because I forgot it was a Sunday and I only had 20 minutes to get ready for the show. So it
kind of fits what I brought to you just before, though. It kind of fits.
To be fair, yeah.
Me and Dee don't really talk much in the week because we're playing different games. The only time we'll talk during the week is actually if we're on somebody else's channel or if I phone him because he's shit at Facebook, so there's no point in me messaging him. So we haven't spoke this week. So as we were backstage, I just told him to go and Google these 2 videos that I saw in the week because we were talking about raising children, and these 2 videos happened, and I'll show you in the minute. And yes, it's actually not mine. Mine is, can you pass me my vape, please, babe? My vape, the box, the one that's broke. This one is mine. It's much better. It's a
let me put you on full screen. There you go.
It's a Vupu drag, but it's broken at the moment, and I
So it's
can't
not
take it
much
to the
better
shop.
then, because it's
No,
broken. So
well,
it's shit.
I mean, it's broken because the charger connection's broken, so I need to take it to the shop.
Shit.
And it's 2 years old. It's that is a long time for a vape. Be quiet. It's my own fault because I'm careless. Okay, it wasn't the vape's fault. But yeah, this is Dan's, and I honestly hate it. It's the worst. It's got no power behind it. It sucks. But I can't get to the shop to get them to fix this / buy the newest model.
Yeah.
So I'm stuck using this, unfortunately, for the moment. Within 2 months. Oh, okay. This has lasted quite a while.
See, when I was vaping a few years.
You're a robot again. Hello, my realm. How are you? What's going on? What are you up to? Oh, I need to reposition my butt. Are you back yet, Chuckles? In the years to come, there will be vaping diseases. We'll see. I mean, I feel better than I did when I smoked. So, you know. Hiya, Mick. How you doing? I think with everything that you do, if you don't do it in moderation, there's health risks to pay. You know, you drink too much water, you can get water intoxication. So if you do things
It swells
loads,
your brain. Yeah, it's what kills a lot of people on ecstasy. Taking in too much water.
Yeah.
Because you have to hydrate, but if you overhydrate, it swells your brain, and that's what killed a lot of people in the 90s who were on a lot of ecstasy. Yeah.
I have a Sigali 150 watts and a Rage 150 unregulated straight power. I kind of wouldn't trust that. I'd be worried that it was gonna explode. You're a guinea pig. Better the devil you know. I mean, we've kind of had this conversation before, and I'm fine with the possible health implications that it could bring. I know that smoking can give you lung cancer, and I know the survival rate of lung cancer is very, very low. So, vaping should be a step towards quitting altogether. I mean, yeah, it should be, but I also don't want to quit because I like it, which is what I said with smoking. So, you know, no.
Yeah, no, it's funny. Like, it should be a step towards quitting, but it just reminds me every time of, again, South Park. Unfortunately, I know, yes, I watch a lot of South Park, but they do a piss take of it where all the like preschoolers are addicted to like the cotton candy flavored vapes and all that kind of stuff. And Butters is the dealer. It's brilliant. It's yeah.
I mean, we've had shisha pipes for as long as I can remember, and it's the same concept of heating up a liquid and you inhale the liquid. You don't actually inhale any smoke. So, you know, fight me. It's exactly the same. It's exactly the same concept, but instead of me putting a wet coal or a wet whatever the fuck it is that goes on top, I have a coil.
Yeah, but I imagine they didn't used to use the kind of oils and stuff they use. They probably use natural occurring.
These are natural occurring oils.
Yeah,
if you inhale an essential oil, that's going to be very, very bad. Essential oils burn. That's why you should always use a carrier oil. In here is propylene glycol and vegetable glycerin, which, okay, propylene glycol is usually just a derivative of palm fat or coconut fat or some kind of fat. Both of these I would put on my skin, and my body absorbs 80% of whatever I would put on my skin. So the only harmful thing in here is nicotine, in the sense that it raises my heart rate, and I'm fine with that.
Isn't fat like the reason that smoking's bad for the lungs? Isn't that what clogs the lungs up? Like,
no, that's tar
and shit. No, I'm sure they talk about fat.
There's no cholesterol in
fatty buildups or something when it comes to smoking
tar.
in the lungs. Yeah, there is tar as well, but
I mean, there are like over 2,000 chemicals in a cigarette, so compared to the 4 that's in this. I think I'd be better off with the 4 than the 2000.
Yeah, no. Like I said, I've given up trying to debate it with you. Like, I mean, this is more just kind of.
Because I know the answers, D. I trust the answers. I trust it. But in all honesty, I feel a lot better now than I did when I smoked, and I've used this since I was 20. So that's 7 years, and I smoked for 10. So I feel better with this. Like if I go out partying, and I usually smoke when I drink. So the next day I don't feel shit because of the drinking. I feel shit because my throat hurts, and I usually then get tonsillitis as well because I've smoked. So sorry, I've got hiccups. Let me catch up. I don't take drugs or drink, so vaping is my only thing, to be honest. Yeah, I don't really drink either, mate. Like the only time I do drink is when I go out or on a Saturday night with Jed, or when D allows stupid guests to stay on. Cannabis oil. Yeah, 2000. So we have been told. I mean, you're right. I can't prove that. I'm not a tobacco factory, so I honestly can't prove that. But you know, I there's not a lot I can say to that without knowing facts. I can only repeat what I've been told. Cakes, did you show D the graffiti picture I did of you? I might have told him, but I'm not too sure. Okay. Then no, I didn't. I smoke about 30 a day. Don't want to confuse the autopsy fella or lady. Got a BBC. Lol, Paul. Cigarettes have thousands of toxic chemicals. Vape has only a few ingredients, nicotine being the worst. Google says 7,000. Okay, 7,000. Cool. Thanks, Steve. Yeah, I mean, there's 4 in this. There's the propylene glycol, vegetable glycerin, nicotine, and then the flavoring. The flavoring is usually a food flavoring, so like a vanilla essence, for example, if you're smoking vanilla. This is black currant, so it just tastes like Ribena, which is great. I like me some Ribena. Anyway, should we talk about what I wanted to talk about instead of like vaping? Because honestly, we've done it. It's boring. Move on. Let's go. So as I was saying about the videos, I don't know if is your internet feeling better, Chuckles? You look frozen, so I'm going to go ahead and say no. Yeah, you're definitely frozen. It's looking like, and he's gone. Okay. So there's 2 videos. Just before we started this show, I was saying to D how like I don't feel like we protect as a society the innocence of children anymore. There's always something that's just ruining the kids, you know, whether that be terrifying news that's before the watershed, or just as you're putting your kids to sleep, like the 7 o'clock news. Fucking horrible. Like, no, I don't want my son hearing this. Madeleine McCann, which we'll talk about Madeleine McCann in a bit as well, because I'm sure you guys would all know that's all over the news. But 7 o'clock, they were talking about the disappearance of Madeleine McCann and sexual assault. And I was just putting my boy to bed, like getting ready to put him to bed, and he's 7. You know, I don't even think a 10-year-old should be hearing about abductions and sexual assault and murders of a 3-year-old girl. I don't think that, I mean, maybe I'm being naive and overprotective, but I don't think that a child needs to have the fear of God put in them for no fucking reason. I think, you know, teach your kids not to run off with strangers. Don't get in a van if they're offering you kids. And, you know, I mean, I've told you guys before, Freddie has a code word because of that whole, oh, your mom sent me to pick you up, she's been in a horrible car accident, and then boom, she's stolen, your kid's stolen. So my son has a code word for if somebody comes and tells him a story like that, he has to ask them for a code word. But I don't know, maybe it's just me. Some spread has just said that he agrees. and somebody else talking about vanilla. And D, you look clear.
Right. No, it's gone all grainy again on my screen. But let me just remove you and put you back on the other side.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yay.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on here. I really don't. My phone's going nuts and my PC's not cooperating too well. So I'm having
Weird.
problems on both fronts.
You sound much better and you look much clearer. Touch wood. Did you hear what I was saying?
No, I completely cut out then when I
Okay.
dropped out. Yeah.
All right. Well, I'll just fill you in. I was talking about how the 7 o'clock news the other day, they were talking about Madeleine McCann's disappearance, possible sexual assault, and murder. And I don't think that's appropriate for that time, because I don't think any. I said even a 10-year-old doesn't need to hear that. I don't think there's any need to put the fear of God into kids, and that they should still be innocent. Some spread has
Yeah,
said he
yeah. What
agrees.
happened to kids' innocence?
Exactly. And Paul said they used to keep that stuff until the later news, didn't they? And I don't remember hearing any of that news. The first time
No,
I
because it
was
used to be on the 10 o'clock news. You had the
yeah.
10 o'clock news for the adult news, and you had the 6 o'clock news for like the fluff pieces. And
Well, that's what I was going to say. The first time
yeah,
I remember being scared by the news, I wasn't very well, and it was the 9/11 bombings. Um, I had come down. In fact, I think everybody at school was talking about it because it was the morning for us, wasn't it? So everybody at school was talking about it, and I remember going home, and the Iraq wars were starting, and I remember one night getting up because I wasn't feeling very well, and seeing planes going to bomb Iraq, and they were talking about war in Iraq. That was the first time I was ever scared. Now, if that was 2002, correct me, 2002, I think 2002.
yeah, I think
I think
2002
2000.
would
So I was
sound
10.
about right. Anyway,
Yeah, I was 10, and that was the first time that I was ever scared by the news. Um,
yeah,
so
no, this some spread. This is one of the things.
this is one of the things I sent
Yeah,
him.
yeah.
Do you want to
Kate
play
just
it
sent me.
now?
I've got them lined up. Yeah, give me just 1 second then to sort this.
Because yeah, this is the other thing that I was talking to Dee about just before we went live.
Is that coming through?
Yep.
Yeah, this is on for 8 minutes or whatever seconds, however long it
eight
was
minutes
mating out on his neck for. 8
8
minutes
minutes
46
40
seconds. Yeah.
seconds. Yeah. So it's going, Nickelodeon is going off air for 8 minutes and 46 seconds in support of justice, equality, and human rights. Nickelodeon's Declaration of Kids' Rights. You have the right to be seen, heard, respected as citizens of the world. You have the right to a world that is peaceful. You have the right to be treated with equality regardless of the color of your skin. You have the right to be protected from harm, injustice, and hatred. And you have the right to an education that prepares you to run the world. You have the right to your opinion and feelings, even if others don't agree with them.
Bit of horse shit. And then it
And I
goes
think
again.
that's
Yeah,
all
it
of them.
repeats.
And then the other one,
Yeah.
which I think is even more horrifying, was on MTV.
Yeah. Give me just
Yeah. Do you want to allow sound as well, dude?
have to back up.
And hello, Joe. Hello, Tom. How are you both? What is the point of the
Yo,
bell
how's it
if it
going,
never
guys? Sorry, I'm
works?
busy
Yeah, I
trying to
feel
get other
that.
stuff sorted. So,
Yeah, don't
was
worry.
it Tom? Yo, Tom.
Yeah.
Yo, Joe. How's it going?
What is the point of the bell if it never works?
Yeah, no,
Uh,
I'm pissed off. I missed True Love going live yesterday because I didn't get a notification for her video. No, like telling people she was going live. I didn't get a notification for, so missed that, and then didn't get a notification for her when she actually went live.
Sounds about right.
Right,
So
this
this
one
is the other
coming
one.
through. Oh shit! I didn't do. Sorry, I didn't do sound with that one. I'll have to start again.
So yeah, this one was on MTV. The other one, you guys know,
Yeah,
Nickelodeon's
turn your
Orange.
volume up for this, guys. I will mute up. It's pretty freaky. Right, mute. I'm muting now.
fucking horrifying. In case anybody turned their
Yeah,
volume
you
up,
get
I'm
the
going to
point
speak
there, guys.
quietly for a second. But like, how predatory did I said to D that it sounds super predatory and just
Yeah.
fucking creepy and weird. There are videos of kids genuinely terrified. I know it's MTV and
I'm
it's
not
not
surprised.
necessarily a children's channel, but it was
Well,
played
it's
during the
teens.
day.
It's
Yeah,
teens. I
it's
mean,
teens. But I mean, there's still, like I said before, I don't know if Pimp My Ride is still on, but I remember as a kid watching Pimp My Ride because it's great. You get to see a car get turned into like an
oh no,
awesome, I don't know.
MTV when I was a kid, literally, well, when I became a teenager, was just coming out, and it was just music. There was nothing. There was
Yeah,
no
it used to be.
shows and all that. It was, yeah, it was music,
Um,
and decent music when it first started, because that's how obviously they got all the fans, and then the agendas came in.
yeah. So I think even though there are some channels that I'm sure you have to put a pin number into them to be able to watch them before the watershed. I know if you record something that was filmed, that was recorded at like 9 o'clock, I know you've got to put a pin number in to say that you're the adult and you can watch this. But I think there's so many videos online of small children that were watching something and now all of a sudden they're absolutely fucking terrified. And I just, what if a black child had never seen white privilege and had never been ostracized because of his color, and now all of a sudden he's watching this and he's like, Mom, am I going to be told off because of the color of my skin? Am I going to be killed? Because we had to try and work a way to explain to my white child why this was on the TV. How do I explain that to him? Because as far as my son's concerned, and as far as I tell him, everybody is the same. Everybody starts the same. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't think two different babies should be judged differently. That's me. And everybody should have the same start in life, I think. And I mean childhood. I mean, Freddie's 7, you know. I don't go on.
No. I'm sorry, I didn't want to interrupt. Like, but yeah, no. It's again, this is a lot of it should, I wish, and all that kind of stuff. And it's not. There is no equality. So you can't teach equality when it doesn't exist. You putting Freddie at an unfair advantage, in my opinion, if you try teaching him about equality, because you're taking
But
away his chance of getting ahead. like if you want to see him succeed in society, you got to teach him how to work within society.
no, but I think those are kind of two different points. I think the newest generations, I always remember my dad. I cannot for the life of me remember this boy's name, but he was a Sikh, and I remember my dad sitting. I was sitting on my dad's knee, and he was telling me, you know, just because he's got a different colored skin does not mean he's any different. You know, it just means that they have
Oh,
different.
yeah. When it comes down to color of skin, of course, yeah. I
And
mean,
that's what I was trying to imply, that every child should be starting off the same. It doesn't matter of their skin tone. So then, after teaching my son that, to then have to explain why the media is putting this out, and then he's asking, well, do white people get killed? Well, yeah. Why? Because the police are bad, but you trust the police. We live next door to a police. How am I supposed to explain this to a 7-year-old?
no,
Because
you
the
see, you
police are being
can't.
demonized.
See, this is the problem with knowing the truth and having kids that you have to prepare for today's society.
Exactly. But I can't just tell him I can't just tell him the narrative that the media wants me to tell him, because that's setting him up to believe that black people are
Yeah, but
different.
if you tell him the truth, he's never going to trust a policeman again. That's the trouble. Because if you
Which
told
is
him the truth, he would never be able to trust the police again.
why I said
And
don't mind that. It's all nonsense. Don't worry about it. I could not possibly have explained that to him, because if you point out to a child that a black person has been killed because he's black, one of two things is going to happen. He's either going to shrug it off, or he's going to question why black people are different, and especially black children. Now, that to him, there should be no difference between himself and the other black children unless they're intellectually higher or lower than him. That should be the only difference right now, because that's just how it should be. But it's it's forcing a narrative to make your children question as well, and I don't think that's right. And scaring children, dragging the kids into this, I think as long as your kids are raised happy, healthy, and respectful, I don't see why they need to be dragged into this.
Well,
But
which kind of brings
maybe
me
I'm
back
being
to my
naive.
point a few weeks back about the protests and taking your kids to fucking protests. And I'm sorry, this is kind of goes along the same fucking like thing. You bringing your kids into shit they don't fucking need to be a part of, and it's the same with this. And again, like I said, this is an attack of the family unit. Because what you'll see is you'll see parents who are backwards in their thinking are now going to be pitted against the progressive children, and I think you can just see it all.
But it gets
happening.
even worse than this. So the protest that we saw the other day, that we're referring to, that was from our video a few weeks ago of a woman being dragged away from her kid, and there wasn't a large protest. To me, that is completely different to the protests that are going on right now. These aren't even protests, they're riots. Now, there was a kid, although there's been a number of kids who have been pepper sprayed, young kids. Firstly, obviously, that is wrong by the police officer to be pepper spraying a child. But secondly, the parent has put that child in that situation. That is not a protest. They are riots. There is a massive, massive difference between picketing a fucking town hall and smashing things up and throwing bricks at there was a brick thrown at a fucking horse. Why are people throwing bricks at horses? Okay, it's a police horse. You might not like the police, but leave the fucking horse alone. Why are you throwing a brick at the horse? How are they this stupid? And I've got friends on my Facebook. I'm going off on a rant, deal with it. I've got friends on my Facebook who are like, you don't have the right to tell us when to protest. And I'm like, well, you do when you're destroying shops and when you're destroying buildings and things. And they're like, okay, so us destroying buildings is worse than the police destroying a life. No, the building itself, okay, fair enough, destroy a derelict building if you want, but you're not destroying a building, you're destroying somebody's livelihood, you're destroying somebody's ability to feed and clothe their children and family. That is fundamentally wrong. That's not okay. Like, I don't understand how these people think that it's okay to smash shit up. I don't get it. I understand the need to protest against the police, not for black lives, not for white lives, not for Hispanic lives, for people's lives, civilians' lives. I understand the need for that. But I don't understand the need for fucking rioting in the streets and destroying people. I don't get that. I don't understand. Like, what about the fucking 63-year-old police chief who was black and protecting his friend's shop? That black man, that black police chief, was killed in the riots for protecting his friend's shop. What about his black life? Does he not matter because it doesn't fit your fucking narrative? The fuck over yourself. Like, it makes me so angry seeing all these people on my Facebook. Like, I have almost disabled my Facebook 7 times this week. That is once for every single fucking day, because people are fucking stupid. Like, it makes my blood boil. I do not understand how people cannot see like us. I'm going to stop talking. Continue. I'm going to read the chat.
Yeah, no, everything is a power struggle, and so this is kind of what I'm starting to realize with, again, so everything is happening because we've let it happen. Like, maybe not us in particular, but society has let it happen. And this is where I'm going to go back up to this one. Thank Fabian Society for breaking down the family unit. No, thank the family units for breaking down the family units. Like, we don't do anything we don't want to do. Everything that has been done is a willing act. See, this is what people seem to keep fucking forgetting. Like, this is why they need to get our contracts. This is why they need to get our signatures. This is why they need to get us to agree to everything, because it's about will, and that's why it's a struggle for power, because will is the ultimate power.
What puppy? Geez, if she thinks the brick at the horse was bad, for God's sake, nobody mentioned the puppy. You mentioned the puppies. You want me to know about the puppies?
Shit, there was a black guy holding a puppy up, like rough, just like not the healthy scruff of the neck part, but proper down, like just holding this fucking white dog up while he was having a rant of some sort. Live on the news, I think it was. It wasn't like a video or anything. I can't remember exactly why. I do remember seeing a little snippet of that.
Man with puppy, is that what I typed? Black man with puppy. Black man,
possibly.
puppy.
Yeah, because they've, but again, this is the thing. You cannot be brainwashed. It can't happen. You have to allow it to happen. This is my fucking point. This is what nobody seems to understand. Like, we're not programmable by nature. We open ourselves up to be programmed. Like, it's a willful thing. We've all done it willfully. Every single one of us. Yeah, CNN clip. There you go. It's a CNN clip. So CNN Black Man Puppy. Sorry, like I say, yeah, no, sorry, this whole self-responsibility thing, like I say, keep trying to pass it off to everyone else. It's not washing with me anymore. Just not. Time we take responsibility. I fucked up, not Fabian Society, right? They just allowed my willful nature to happen.
I can't find it. I'll have to have
Yeah.
a proper look later.
Cause and effect. This is what I'm talking about. It's willful. This is something that's gone on for thousands of years. You think this really? You think like all of a sudden just because you were born into this system, it's not your fault? Like, yeah, all right. Well, when you wake up to it and you start making changes, fair enough. You start rectifying that, but it's still your fault. You have still watched telly. You've still done all this. You've still done, because that's what everyone else does. That's it. That's your only reason for doing it. It's what everyone else did. It's what everyone else did. It's what everyone else did. All right. So where's all these fucking individuals then? This is what I'm talking about. Self-responsibility. Willful. You willfully did what everyone else did. Simple. I did. I'm not like having to go at anyone. Every single person. This is something that every single person needs to realize this.
There's another comment as well here. The left have been weaponizing kids on their favorite issues as of late. But I mean, Hitler did that, and he ended up being quite right. I mean, he went from socialist to.
Sorry, going back onto mine. Yeah, but this, like I say, this doesn't absolve your responsibility for it. This doesn't change the fact that you went into it willfully. It just, all it changes is you now have knowledge that you went into it willfully. That's the only thing that happened. This is what I mean. I'm not arguing that it wasn't imposed upon you and you went along with it. I'm not arguing that fact. I'm saying it was a willful act. That's all, a willful act. Whether it was your choice to be willful or whether it was imposed upon you and it was just what you went along with. It's a willful act, and that's my point. Sorry. I know I get a bit
the old documentary, The Century of the Self, is worth a watch again.
What, sorry?
I don't know, it's just what Joe said.
Oh, no. Ah, there, it's popped up now. Sorry, I was looking up and it's one that hadn't popped up yet.
He says, saying, when I was 2, I was willing.
Yeah, oh, see, yes, you were. Oh, look. Right, were you like forced in front of a television? Were you like fucking told that you have to stay there or your life is going to end? Like, I mean, no, you went and did it willingly. And I know it seems harsh blaming like kids and stuff. And this is why I say you have responsibility when you wake up to it to do stuff about it. And all right, maybe I'm mad because I've done fuck all about it. I don't know, but yeah, I'm maybe a bit triggered now. But like I say, the whole point is willfully. It's not about whether you were coerced, whether you weren't coerced, whether it was just. It's the willful. You didn't do it kicking and screaming. You did not object to anything. And that's how they got us. And yes, this is what, and this, and also this is what I'm saying. You've got to blame your parents. You've got to blame. Like, this is what I mean. You blame the society that allowed this to happen. The knowledge is out there. We all know now, like I say, the knowledge is there to be found. ignorance is not an excuse. It's not an excuse. And just because your parents got dumbed down and their parents got dumbed down, it's not a fucking excuse. It does not absolve you from responsibility. And it doesn't mean you did a bad thing. Everyone else fucking did it. I'm not accusing here. I'm not sat here saying it's all your fault. It's all your fault. It's everyone's fault.
It's much easier to
It's
go with the status quo no matter what.
Yeah.
And that is
Apathy.
the easier option. What happens if you don't go, if you go against the status quo is you're ostracized from society, you're shunned. I mean, I see it every day when I look at my Facebook and everybody thinks the same. And I mean, it makes me question my kind of integrity. It makes me question, actually, am I thinking clearer? Am I right here? And then I come and talk to you guys and I'm like, yeah, okay, I probably definitely am right, you know, because you guys mostly agree with what we say, which is, it's really good with self-affirmation, you know, compared to seeing my friends just blindly following like Love Island and everything that's shoved down their throats via TV. And it is easy to get sucked into that. And if I can say it more articulately than D, it's nobody's fault, in the sense of that is what you're born into doing. That is the social norm. That is the normal thing to do. I think it's our responsibility, once you kind of realize what's happening, you know, it's our responsibility to then change that and maybe alter things for our kids and their generations, you know. Loop says, fuck me, I was not man 2 years old. Yeah, I'm triggered because you don't know it's bad at that age. It's the system created to program us by the elites. It's their fault, mate. No, and that's the thing. But he's not saying that you should have known that it was bad. He's saying that you didn't have a choice, but you did have a choice. You're saying that, if you can correct me if I'm wrong in a second, but what it feels like is that you're saying that a 2-year-old has no choice but to watch TV because they know no better. But at the same time, you still chose to sit in front of the TV. Like no matter which way you kind of phrase it, I see what you're trying to say.
Yeah, like I say, I'm not saying it was a. Or maybe, I don't know, maybe I've mixed something up and said something that's confused things. I don't know, because when I get into this kind of triggered state, it's a reaction rather than an actual thought that comes out. So,
but the system is created to program us. That's the thing. The system is created to program us. We talk about pre-programming in TV all the time, whether it be virtue signaling or what, you know. So it is difficult not to get wrapped up into that, because that's what everybody else is doing. And that's not to say that we're sheep, but that is the society we live in. Are sheep, so that's everything that you're supposed to do. But I think it's cruel to say that a child is part of the problem, because it's not.
No, I'm not saying they're part of the problem.
No, I know you didn't. No, I know you didn't. I know you. Calm down. Go hit the thing that we don't hit on here. The bong cabbage.
Oh, yeah.
Fuck's sake. Yeah, so it's wrong to imply that it's a child's fault because the TV is obviously flashy lights, pretty colours. Obviously, a child wants to watch that. But like I was trying to say, it's our responsibility once we've woken up. I hate that phrase, but I'm going to use it to make sure.
Again, as Mick actually put up there, well, in a different way, yeah. See, this whole thinking you're awake, it's a bullshit lie. It's part, unfortunately, it's part of the cult mindset. They want you to get into. They want you to feel special.
You all see a clip of a guy doing a presentation about vaccinating extremism out of people from 2005. I like the original Big Brothers. Watching the social interactions between ordinary people was interesting. I did as well, until it became flashy and like a way to become a celebrity. The first couple seasons where like that, where Alison, I can't remember Alison's name. Is she waving at me? No, she's exercising. oh, what was her name? Big black woman. She lives not far from me. She's on this morning now. She's fucking awesome. But she wanted to see the outside world because she missed it, and she jumped up on the table and broke the table. But I have to agree, Big Brother was interesting when it first started, and then it kind of got old, and it was all about challenges, and it was all they all somehow made some kind of fame out of it, and it just became like a celebrity circle jerk. It takes the majority of people to enforce a culture, but the monitoring to shape it. Yeah. The lies are pushed onto us, but we choose to find enjoyment in the lies.
Yeah,
That's
this is what I'm
interesting.
talking about, the will. Like I say, that I'm not. I know I got a bit heated and shit, but like I say, it's none of us did any of the programming unwillfully. Like I say, yeah, we weren't even tricked into it. This is the thing. It wasn't like we would, because it was already a part of the society that we were in. Like I say, and this is where again you kind of get back to the natural law and the cause and effect. It's like I'm almost thinking now there's no such thing as cause. That everything is just an effect now. I think that the cause is long gone. Like whatever happened first, that was the cause, and everything else is just the effect of that first cause. So I'm even quite shaken on
Well,
whether
yeah.
we do have free will completely,
No, okay,
if at all.
that makes sense. So me interrupting you there is an effect of something that you said that inspired me to talk, but you could keep going that back and back and back and back and back
Yeah,
and
what
back and
caused
back.
that? What caused that?
The
What caused
the
that? What caused that? Yeah.
the effect of tonight is months and months and months ago. Me and in fact over a year ago, me and Dee was like, hey, we should do a YouTube
Well,
channel. But the
no, like I
effect
say,
of that was us talking about things. And you can keep going
yeah,
back and back. So that kind of makes a lot of sense that there is no cause. There is,
just reaction, and I think that's
yeah.
kind of where this whole triggered stuff is coming in now. I think it's almost like we've been made to feel like, oh, like Jed was saying, we're made to feel guilty to be offended in a way. Like, oh no, I can't be offended. I'm awake. Like you can't offend me. Only you can only be offended by yourself. No, sometimes people can say some pretty outrageous shit that should never be even thought of, let alone fucking said. So yeah, no, I mean this is what I'm starting. I'm again because maybe I've had a lot of time for my mind to wander, playing this nice chilled game. Yeah, things have been fitting into place a bit more. And yo phase. Um, and yeah, like I say, I'm starting to wonder if this whole spiritual stuff is just a load of fucking shit. And the mainstream may be wrong, but it's a lot more correct.
You just said that by nothing having a cause and only having an effect, that takes away our free will. But no matter what triggers our effect, we still have a choice of how to be affected by something.
Well, see this, and again, this is another thing because again, apparently we're supposed to have made up our minds milliseconds before we've actually made it and stuff. So again, I'm starting to, sound disillusioned, and it's not disillusionment. Again, this is it's looking at facts and what actually happens rather than what I want to happen. Because like I said, I mean, you all know me. I'm a dreamer. Like I'm an anarchist at heart. I truly believe in self-governance, and I'd love to see everyone else intelligent enough to be able to live like that, but that's not the case. It will never be the case. It never has been the case. Balance is a joke. It's a ridiculous fucking notion. Like I say, I mean, it's everything to me is motion, and so like I say, it really is. I mean, I'm not a right. I mean, all right, yeah, I can't explain why we're here, why we're having this discussion, and all that kind of stuff. No, but I know it's down to motion. I think that's all everything is. I think the whole of reality is just motion. That's it. Like I'm not sure exactly what that motion's made up of, and blah blah blah. But
Kinetic energy.
well, whatever it is, uh, it's there's nothing, absolutely nothing to me that suggests we were intelligently designed by one being. There's absolutely nothing that suggests that there's one consciousness. In fact, if anything, it seems like human nature is conflict, the complete opposite of what the awoke truth movement would try and have you believe, because obviously that's been infiltrated by the New Age movement, which was known to be a fucking psyop at the beginning, from the beginning, pretty much. So, like I say, a lot to me is starting to click into place, and yeah, I don't know. It's hard to articulate a lot of it at the moment. But
the only way for me that free will could not be a thing, that we didn't have free will, was if we lived in a matrix. That for me, like, we were computer simulation or some kind of pre-programmed beings where your entire life choices have already been mapped out. Because I think it maybe my imagination's too small and I can't imagine an omnipotent being that's able to control 7 billion minds. I don't think that's, you know, I can't envisage that. I can't imagine us not having free will.
Yeah,
but
because you have the ego. Yeah, and I'm not saying you are we. Yeah,
no, but I know what you
thing.
mean.
Again, this is the thing, and it's again, you still hear people trying to deny it. And see, this is what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to drop that, even though I know I have the ego. I'm trying to think, like I say, outside of the way I've been thinking, and like I say, when I take a step back now from where I was, the step back is, like I said, it shows me like everything is a reaction. It's an effect.
But if we didn't have free will,
well, if you want to call it the Big Bang or whatever, like, I mean, God parting the waters, whatever you want to call it, like, that was the only cause. Everything else is just an effect of like I said, and that's only if this construct we live in is finite. If it's infinite, then what's the word? All bets are off. Yeah, I wouldn't have a clue.
If we didn't have free will, then how bad of a creator would there have to be, or people monitoring us behind computer screens in some distant universe? If we didn't have that, they'd be pretty shit. Or somebody is slacking on their job to allow you the ability to think that we don't have free will, or to you know, for you to be thinking that way, there'd have to be like a glitch in the program. I was gonna say glitch in the matrix, but I didn't. You know, for you to be able to kind of break out of that and think for yourself. Or why would they have pre-programmed you to believe that we haven't got free will and that everything's made? Are you the Messiah? I'm not sure. Let me catch up real quick. All the great mathematical geniuses that tried to comprehend infinity went mad. I don't doubt that.
No, you do. Unfortunately, you know, this is this is the problem you have when thinking about infinity. There's many ways of thinking about it because it's infinity, but a lot of people are still stuck on the cyclical infinity or the Mobius strip infinity, whereas that to me is still a finite construct within a infinite bounds. What I'm talking about when I'm talking about infinity is that not no beginning, no end, no circle, no coming back on itself. Like, there was a beginning, it will never get back to that. There will be not an end, but we'll like never live to see it, if you get me. Like, it's just gonna. There was always motion. Put it that way. There was never a state of no motion, if you want to think about it like that. And as long as there was motion, it will continue. Like, infinity will. Let's see. This is when you talk about infinity. There is no beginning. There is no end, really. Oh, it's so hard. It is, and it will drive you mad. It will.
Well, before you get mad, can I read the rest of the chat?
Yeah,
So P says, yeah, how could anyone control so many minds? Also remember to put your mask on to save yourself from a virus. It's really funny. I don't think he realizes the irony of that. But I'm sure most of you do realize the irony of that, so we'll gloss over that one. Free will is an illusion, so says Robert Sapolsky, and he's rather smart. There's a difference
He's
between.
being facetious now, because, like I say, there are people controlling, and again, I hate to use that word.
You're a robot.
Control, manipulate, because control implies there is no.
We didn't hear you. Joe, yeah, I think there's a difference between free will and free will. I realize I've said the two different things, but there's a difference between being able to think freely and being controlled by media, politics, Rothschild, and the rest of it. And I see what you mean with. I mean, all of us are alluded to believe that we can think for ourselves, even though we can think for ourselves. But we are given these boxes within which we can think for ourselves. You know, I don't think we're given the ability to think outside of those boxes, because those are the boxes that have been put around us. So I think you kind of know what I'm trying to say. Half the comments you show on screen don't show in my comment box. Yeah, hit the live button.
Yeah, I'll put it up on the screen
Conspiracy
earlier. Sorry
always
about that
isn't
again. Like I
live
said,
chat, top chat.
I'm not even sure
I
it's going to be
reckon we
worth
have
us.
20% free will. I mean, that's plausible. Joe's the Messiah. You have free will to fall for the lies or not. That's true. How many atoms are there in the universe? Sure. Maybe we only have free will over our jurisdictions. I think that's kind of what I was trying to say. Like yeah. Is this actually? Yeah, I am playing. I just can't hear D because I haven't pressed the play button. No, he's frozen. Okay, that's fine. Coerced is the same as controlled, is it not? No, because coerced implies that you have a choice. Controlled implies you don't have a choice. There's a difference between the two. I mean, coerced means that somebody's kind of twisted your arm and, like Dee was trying to say, manipulated you into thinking that this certain way, or thinking that certain way, or doing that. Whereas controlled implies that you have no choice in the matter at all. They have done stacks of experiments on free will. Look it up. Joe, would you mind linking me some after the video, or on one of our old videos when you can? That would be great. Are you back?
Oh, am I? I don't know. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah, you are.
Honestly, this is ridiculous. And I don't even think I'm going to put the link out for invites. I think once we finish saying what we've got to say, we'll call it a night, because this is actually getting quite painful for me tonight.
What for you?
Just my mind, all this dropping in and out, and not knowing what sentences of mine are being heard, and yeah.
No, it's cool.
And no, coerced is not the same as controlled. Controlled would mean, like I say, there's no choice in it. Coerced is when there's still will.
I've already done it. Fine, don't worry.
Okay.
I've got your back, Jack. Who has looked at numbers in their life?
Yeah, are you saying like 78 to the power of 10 there, or like 82 to the power of 10? Which I think that you're talking like in the trillions when you get to those kind of figures, or at least billions. But no, actually at 78 you're more than that. Yeah, you're probably into the quadrillions. But yeah, there's some pretty mind-blowing numbers when you start looking into astronomy or astrophysics or physics in it. Yeah, quantum physics certainly. But
Google Googleplex. Number 9
Yeah, well,
is the number I
Googleplex
have
is the
mainly
largest
looked at.
number we have before infinity, apparently. Right, that's the highest number like mankind can conceive of is a Googleplex, and that's where Google got its name from. So, yeah.
I read an Isaac Asimov book. Why do you all keep typing names that I can't pronounce?
You must know Isaac Asimov.
No.
He's the iRobot, Will Smith.
Yeah, I know that
Isaac
film.
Asimov.
I watched it when I was like 12. I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
Googleplex
So
is
that was
1
probably the
followed by
most
100 zeros.
famous one
Is
that
it
I could
not?
think of because it's a film that Will Smith was in.
Okay.
I couldn't answer that question without googling it. Unfortunately, I'm pretty sure that's the highest like named number we can go up to. Yeah. Or was at the time. Yo, Parkmaster, how's it going?
So Simon says 0. It was a trick question. Atoms don't exist.
Could they might not. Yeah. Could they might not. Yo, gin smell.
Says, hi P Mars, thank you for not being my friend. Congratulations.
This is not a networking channel.
Asimov is a legendary sci-fi author. Awesome.
Yeah, no, he is. He pretty much is like, well, all right, Jules Verne's probably the granddaddy or the great granddaddy, but Asimov's probably the granddaddy of sci-fi.
We did miss Phase. I apologize. Did I miss?
No,
Phase?
I said
I
Phase.
waved
I said
at
your
him.
Phase.
I waved because one of us was talking. Vlad's had fish tacos. Honestly, whenever Americans mention fish tacos, like even before I was vegan, I was like, oh God, I feel like it's just sushi in like a taco shell. I don't know. Just cooked fish in a sauce is horrible. I don't get it. I've never liked cooked fish in a sauce. I don't think it's a very English thing.
No one has ever seen Wi-Fi. I'm speaking to Cakes now, and you are watching us. Does Wi-Fi not exist because no one's ever seen it? So I hate this one.
Yeah, we're doing that.
Nobody's ever seen it. Yeah, there's so much that isn't seen. It's like, well, if you want to go like you'll say, oh well, the fact that we can see it happening means that there is Wi-Fi. Well, if you want to go with that logic, then you can say, well, the fact we have a body means there must be atoms. So again, it's you can go with logical consistencies, but they're not always meaning it's true. So yeah, there could be atoms, there could not be. I'm happy to sit on the fence
there. Fish taco is like shrimp in socks.
Sure. Yeah, so I don't like fish food. I don't like fish or anything that's come out the sea or rivers or anything like that.
So I used to
fish
like
as food, not fish.
Battered cod, fish fingers, prawns, and masala fried fish. Those were the only fish that you'd ever catch me eating. All of the fishes. Oh no, and I liked a nice salmon.
Worcestershire sauce was revealed to me that Worcestershire sauce has fish in apparently. Anchovies. So I like Worcestershire sauce. So that's the one thing. I stand corrected.
Brown sauce as well. If you eat brown sauce, that has had anchovies in up until about 5 years ago, and tomato sauce used to have anchovies in as well.
Oh, right, then I probably did.
And they're cheaper alternative to salt.
Saying that was not just an added ingredient to a food.
Yeah.
But yeah, I wouldn't. Yeah.
These are with avocado, purple cabbage, shredded, and cherry tomatoes. So you'd have like the cabbage and the tomatoes. Avocado, like I could take it or leave it. It's okay. And is Ginger's wife? I'm not sure.
Avocado. I'm not. I think that's one of those things I've always thought. I won't like that, so I've never eaten it. So I don't actually know whether I like avocado or not. I can say with 90% certainty I won't like it.
If you mush avocado up on like toast or a bagel and cover it in salt and pepper, I swear to God it tastes like bacon, but I haven't had bacon in years, so I could be quite wrong. But I swear it's got like a bacony taste to it.
I very much doubt it, but yeah.
It probably doesn't. Yeah, that's why I used to. Weatherspoons used to. They don't anymore. They used to do a smashed avocado bagel with chopped tomato, like chopped actual tomatoes, not tinned chopped tomatoes, and salt and pepper. And I really liked that. But I don't know. Have you not had guacamole then?
No.
What? How do you eat nachos?
I don't like nachos. They taste like cardboard.
I have no words. I am.
They taste like cardboard. They have the consistency and taste of cardboard.
How often do you eat cardboard?
I munched on cardboard a bit when I was a kid.
Some tasty cardboard you got there, friend. Honestly, the lack of food that you actually eat genuinely baffles me. Like, I can't comprehend.
Oh yeah, like I say, people would, like the medical profession would probably love to study me just to see how I survive.
Oh, there's that ego.
Yeah.
The medical profession would love to study me.
Yeah. Well, I baffle myself on how I survive. Like I say, I mean, it's ridiculous. Yeah. But I know I'm gonna live to 150, so it doesn't matter. Like,
sure.
honestly, I'm gonna live to 150 just because that's my lot in life, to suffer.
That went really dark. I was just talking about food.
Yeah, no. It's cool. Like I say, this is the thing. I mean, without people suffering, there wouldn't be people like having the flip side reversal of absolute pleasure and enjoyment. I've had little
You're a
moments
depressive fellow
today.
today.
No, I'm not because this is not
at the start of the show. Oh, I'm feeling great. I've had a great time on Red Dead Redemption, and then you're all meh. I'm suffering. Meh.
No, I'm not suffering at this particular moment in time. No, but the general theme of my life has been not that great. I know this isn't a poor me. You've made it into a poor me. I was just making an observation. You've made it into a poor me.
I wanted to talk about your snack cupboard. I wanted to talk about you took us here. I was happy to talk about the terrible food that you eat, and you got all dark. And not the handsome, dark, mysterious kind of dark that I'm going to cry tonight kind of dark. So thanks,
No,
Chuckles.
don't be silly. No, don't be silly. Fucking hell.
Buddha survived on a grain of rice.
Yeah,
he survived on a cardboard box. Yeah, I know about. You took it away, and
I just nibbled on a few.
Talking.
I just nibbled on a few.
That's really weird.
No, see, people like you, young people, don't realise what it was like growing up in the 80s in a poor fucking house. No, it isn't. But it fills your fucking belly when you fucking haven't eaten all day, and you don't think you're gonna. Like,
so why not have some nachos and reminisce in your childhood?
Like honestly, that wasn't even bad. I mean, we knew kids around my area that would go and eat horse shit from the field, like and stuff like that. It was disgusting what some of the kids would go off and munch on. Like, I mean, the worst, I'd probably eat a few fucking daisies and stuff like. And
how do they taste?
You'd get horrible. They're disgusting. But again, it fills your belly. But we also had lots of coconut trees and hazelnuts and stuff. So when they were in season, you could go around munching on them and wild cherries and stuff. But like I say, no, it's not poor me. So no sympathy. Like I say, it's just the way it was. It's the way.
So you don't want to read Tom's comment then? When Cakes talks, major chords are played and minor chords when D talks.
Yeah.
I'm the diddle-a-lun, and you're da-da-da-da. Oh no.
Yeah, we're getting it out. If I can even remember how to play.
You're gonna hurt my feelings. I need a tissue. My eyeballs are leaking.
Yeah, because that's me. Can you hear that? Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, that's me. And that's Cakes. Not much of a difference, I know, but that was a E major and E minor. So yeah.
I remember a sugar sandwich was a treat for the poor kids.
Yeah, oh no, I hated sugar sandwiches. For me, it was a tomato sauce sandwich. Love tomato sauce
Did
sandwich.
you eat sugar
Yeah,
sandwiches?
they're delicious.
I've never had a sugar sandwich.
Oh, no, they're gritty. I don't.
We've got no bread.
I never liked it, but it was. Yeah, it was something I would eat, but only because. Yeah, I mean, I'd be happy with a fucking piece of bread. But
We
yeah,
had jam.
no, it was disgusting. I mean, like water on a cornflake chip.
Water on cornflakes. We've lost him. Okay. Or did when I was a kid, or dripping. Dripping. Oh, that's icky. Dripping's icky. No, dripping's bad. Oh. I had a neighbour 10 years ago that would invite half the local pub home on a Sunday, and the fucking guitar would always end up coming out. We used to play poker at my dad's house every Monday, and it would be a bad poker night if the guitars didn't come out, to be perfectly honest. It was great. Yeah, I don't think we had like a poor dinner. Like, our poor dinner was beans on toast. And it wasn't even a poor dinner, it was just a lazy dinner, like beans on toast. Like, Freddie has beans on toast because, well, honestly, because me and Dan can then have takeaway and it's a bit cheaper. So Freddie gets beans on toast and we have takeaway when he's gone to bed. And then yeah, and then he comes downstairs and whinges because he's seen the pizza man, because his door overlooks his window overlooks the road. Yeah, if the door goes, he does come and snoop on us. Cheeky boy. But yeah, cheese on toast is another one. My mum absolutely detests melted cheese, but yeah, we had a lot of cheese on toast. Cheese on toast with Marmite and cherry tomatoes. Nom nom. Why does Jamie listen to that mushroom guy? The dude is a full-blown racist and talks garbage. Everybody already has COVID. God, I hate these people discussing things they have no clue about. Anyway, take care all. Great chat, Ivan. Thanks for that riveting bit of information there.
Yeah, no, we did our Jamie rant earlier.
Huh?
I said we did our Jamie rant earlier.
Oh yeah, the Jamie rant was a while ago. I gave beans on toast to my old Scandinavian girlfriend, and she thought it was the best invention ever. Brilliant.
I do love beans on toast even now.
No, if you washed off the icky sauce, they're great. I don't like the sauce. I don't like the hoops. I don't like the spaghetti.
God, no, that's not. That's horrible stuff.
But they're the same sauce. Yeah. It's the same sauce.
No, yeah, but it's not the same. It's pasta, isn't it? They use in that other stuff.
Oh yeah, and you don't like
it's
pasta,
not a nice
do you?
Pasta.
So
no, I don't mind. Well, I don't mind spaghetti pasta.
Spaghetti, spaghetti.
Fusilli pasta, the twisty stuff. But if it's in like a shell shape or something, it gets a weird texture to it.
It's exactly the same.
It's not.
It is exactly the same. But I don't like beans or the spaghetti hoops or anything, because it's just the sauce. Honestly, if you rinse the sauce off and give them a wash, and I made my own tomato sauce, banging. But with the icky preservative-y icky sauce, my dad said that they used to be great. Like, the color of the tomato sauce was like a really nice rich red, and they've just ruined it and watered it down with fucking preservatives instead. I don't want to go on a rant mode, lol, later.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, they yeah, later's Theodore. Yeah, shaved ice.
Yeah. No, you said this a few weeks ago, actually. I'm pretty sure we were talking about food and you mentioned shaved ice, or I might not have been there, actually. I think I was just glad talking to somebody. Toasties, beans, or cheese, pure magic. Yeah, sure. I mean, I'm not. It sucks being a vegan and going into if you want a cooked breakfast not in your house and you go to like a restaurant, the options are bread, mushrooms, tomatoes, and beans. But I kind of fuck myself because I can just have like the bread, the mushrooms, and the tomatoes, because the beans, ugh, no. And and hash browns. Hash browns are great. Oh, hash browns. Snow cone ice without flavouring. Delish. I thought D was chugging, but he's not. He's just frozen. Chugging his Ribena. I know. I believed you. I didn't think I didn't think you were fibbing to me, Vlad. You'd have no reason to lie about eating shaved ice. Did you have any poor man's dinners, babe? Like, can you think of like a poor man's dinner? Like they've just had sugar and bread.
That'd be a dessert. Well, I don't know. I suppose coddle.
Coddle.
Yeah, it's just a big pile of slop in a pot, and it's awesome.
I don't know if you guys heard that, but coddle is an Irish dish. And his mum showed it me last time Dan was over. I video chatted him, and she was cooking coddle, and I'd obviously never heard of it. But what is it? It's pork.
All the parts of the pig.
All the parts of the pig.
There's a lot.
And what was it? Potatoes and
Carrots and things.
like, is it
Onions.
basically like a stew, but like a really watery looking stew, and you know.
Oh my god, Snowman, you middle class bastard! He had he was a posh cunt who had a soda stream.
I have a soda stream.
It was allowed nowadays. Back in the 80s, it fucking wasn't. You were a posh middle class bastard if you had a soda stream.
Eating your own toenails is pretty poor.
Yeah, yeah.
You guys are weird. We're talking about poor dinners, Mom. Like poor people dinner, like bread, like sugar sandwiches. I've never had a sugar sandwich. Have you had a sugar sandwich, Mama?
My Uncle Michael used to do.
Can you think of a poor man's dinner that you used to have as a kid?
Yeah, dripping sandwich.
Dripping sandwich. Yeah, somebody mentioned dripping. That sounds icky.
What's dripping?
Icky. Dripping is icky.
Yeah, Tom said that.
Food fat.
Yeah, Tom had the
Joint fat. I don't
again
mean smoky joints. I mean animal
dripping.
joint fat.
Yeah, I got that. You wouldn't,
Yeah,
That on your,
you wouldn't roll a joint in that either.
few of my friends
That's
just
disgusting.
I put it on bread
and
and then put some
stuff. No,
salt and pepper on the top.
no.
That sounds horrible. Dripping sandwiches sound like not something I want. Peanut butter and sugar on toast. Peanut butter doesn't need sugar. Peanut butter is so sweet. Peanut butter is yummy. Eating out the bins. I'm not. Cheese. Oh yeah, I mentioned cheese on toast, Mama. Eating out the bins. I've never eaten out the bins.
One man's crashes and another man's.
No, see, there was never any waste food that went into our bins. That's kind of thing. So you must have been eating out of other people's bins, and now, well, I can't say I've out of somebody else's bin. We did. There was a supermarket, a Safeway, that opened about 2 years before I moved up to here, and we did used to go and raid the bins down there because they used to chuck out all sorts of good stuff. Like, so we used to just go and nick it. That was back before they obviously started locking it all away.
This is something like.
Well, we used to go, yeah, but no, we did. We go and have food fights down there and all sorts. Like it was an awesome because it happened on clockwork, like every Sunday.
But this is something I can't comprehend though, because there's people who genuinely bin dive to get food, and I've watched the programs and the food looks perfectly normal. Perfectly normal. When I used to work at an Indian takeaway, and there was a homeless man who used to, not an Indian buffet restaurant. There was a homeless man who used to sit out the front, and I heard his story. It was, you see it all the time. White man lost his wife, lost his kids, made redundant, sofa surfing and sleeping on the streets when he can't sleep on a friend's sofa. It's the same fucking bless you, Jesus Christ. It's the same narrative that we see all the time. Absolutely disgusting. But he used to sit outside because we had like a bandstand outside, so he'd sit under there in the get out of the sun, get out of the rain. And it used to always piss me off the amount of food that we'd throw away from the big like serving metal things on the heater thing under the lamps. If it had been out for 4 hours, we couldn't serve it. We had to just throw it in the bin. And I couldn't even take any out to the homeless man. The once I wanted to take home masala fish, my boss was like, it was the end of the night. I was like, instead of putting this in the bin, can I please take it? And he was like, no, you can pay £5 for it. And I was like, are you fucking kidding me? And my mum, she used to work in a bakery. All the cakes and stuff, if the cakes had gone out of date, my mum couldn't even take them home. They had to go in the bin. I don't understand where we live in this world where if something's out of date, past its use by, somebody can't just have it with the understanding that this is past its use by date. So eat it at your own risk. Like there's an app that I absolutely love.
No,
It's called, oh, go on.
whenever I've worked in food factories, like the staff have always, at the end of the week, or most of the time it was at the end of the week on a Friday night, you've got to go into the factory and take all the stuff that wasn't up to standard to go out. So all the mistakes that have been made throughout the week, be piled in a freezer or in a big cupboard if it wasn't perishable, and the staff would be able, you'd take a bag and you'd be able to help yourself to a certain amount of items that week, depending on how much was there.
Yeah, I mean, even when I worked for Marks and Spencer's, for example, anything under £5 of value that was going out of date by that day, you could buy for 5p, which I honestly like.
No, see, we didn't have to pay for any of it.
But that also made sure that the people that were buying, if you were waiting behind to buy it, it was less likely that it was going to go in the bin. Do you know what I mean? Like that, I think that's why they did it. And anything over £5 was 10p. And then the £30, I got this massive. I wasn't vegan at the time. Freddie, I was pregnant with Freddie actually. I gave birth literally just after my contract ended. But I bought this massive, great big crown of a turkey that was worth over 30 quid for £2 because I'd bought it on Boxing Day night, knowing that the turkey's left over. But yeah, I don't understand. Like, we waste so much food, like, and this is the one time that I think Greta has a leg to stand on when she's talking about environmentally speaking, in terms of us wasting food. That is the only time I can ever agree with her, is that we waste so much food. Like a banana, for example, if a banana doesn't look like a banana, it goes in the bin.
You heard about the meat plants in America, right?
The meat plants. Oh,
8 million animals.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a waste. 8 million animals getting killed and the meat can't be eaten because of COVID.
Yeah, it's because they can't sell it. They can't sell the meat. Like, the meat industry is fucked. I don't know if you heard what Dan just said. 8 million animals have gone to waste because they can't sell the animals. They can't sell the meat. I know there's loads of pig farms where the pigs have literally, they've dug a massive, great big pit of hundreds of thousands of pigs have just been thrown into this pit and they've just buried them alive. Like, when people ask why I'm vegan, that's a reason why I'm vegan, because, oh, well, we can't make a profit out of them, so why even bother trying to kill them humanely? Let's just bury them in a pit alive and suffocate them. And you guys think I'm the crazy one? Like, come the fuck on. Even if I got sick tomorrow, I would still be vegan, because I cannot sit here and let that shit happen. I just can't, and I don't see how people can.
So you're not going to do your no animals go to waste?
Pardon?
You lost me again, didn't you?
Yeah, you're back, but I did. No, gone again.
I'm going to say, so you're not going to do your
type it. High-rested, as we can't hear D. I heard you don't know the proper way to spell your. Nobody approves of waste. Autocorrect. I knew. Oh, Cabbage Knickers is here as well. Hi, Cabbage. Sorry, I'm catching up because I went on a bit of a rant, didn't I, there? A raw carrot. Okay. Fry up for Sunday dinner. Jams and jellies are disgusting. Yeah, Dan doesn't like jam or jelly. One of my...
Yeah, jam's raw. Jelly's lovely.
Okay.
Lovely jelly.
Dee's back.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I've just finished fucking typing it as well. I'll put it in the chat just because it took all that time.
So you're not going to do your part to make sure no animals go to waste?
Yeah. Hey, Rusted. Hey, Cabbage.
So I am doing my part by reducing the consumerism, reducing the demand for meat. I'm not gonna by me stopping eating meat, less animals would have to be killed. And hello, Vicnoid, how are you doing? Yeah, so I couldn't eat 8 million animals. You know, supply and
Yeah,
demand is a
no,
thing.
it was a joke. It was meant to be a
Yeah,
joke,
no, I know.
but obviously, yeah.
I could tell it was from your tone, but in case anybody thought you were being serious, I was going to answer it as
Yeah.
though you were being serious,
Yeah.
because supply and demand is a real thing. And
No, it's not anymore. It used to be. It's not anymore. That's the problem. That's why we're such a wasteful society now. It used to be literally 10, 15 years ago, it was supply and demand. Nowadays, they over order to make sure there's enough for everyone. Then that's why we chuck away 40% of everything we produce food-wise.
yeah, which is ridiculous. It's so stupid.
So I've worked in the food industry. I know what goes on. I know
Yeah.
like the thought, because we're told like the managers are getting pissed off because production's down. We need to get this out. They put in an extra order because so and so's happening, so they know they're going to need more. They know there's going to be more waste. It's
And this food waste is one of like a big pet peeve for me. I was trying to say before Dee's internet went wobbly again. There's an app that I really like. It's called Too Good to Waste. And it's where restaurants at like 11, 12 o'clock at night will put on the app saying they've got leftovers of this. You can buy it for £1 kind of thing. As long as you can be here before we're done cleaning up, we'll package it up and have it ready. And I think that's fucking great. That's awesome. And they do discounts if you're a registered homeless charity as well, and a registered child charity as well for the lunchtime ones, which I think is fucking awesome. Like, they're donating actual food, which is what people need. Like, people don't need, homeless people don't, I mean, yes, okay, homeless people do need money, but until the government can fucking sort that shit out. Although, are we just giving the government an excuse not to sort it out by clothing and feeding them through charities? Oh, it's a really difficult one that my brain just thought. I don't know. Buy the food for yourself. I'm not going to advocate either way. Hello, Bear.
That's it. Literally, all we have to do is start boycotting corporations. It's that simple. It's corporations that do it. The small businesses, the small mum and dad businesses, like if you can find one, they're not wasteful. They can't afford to be wasteful. Yeah. You just have to start forking out a little bit more. You have to start paying a bit more for what you want. You have to stop settling for cheap alternatives. It's that simple. It's honestly, it really is. There's no major thing to this. It's that simple. You stop. If you don't agree with it, don't do it. Don't go in any corporation. If it's tied to a franchise in any way, don't go there.
Yeah, and I mean, me and Jed said this months ago. We were talking about
that's not me having a judgmental rant there. I shop at corporations. It's the way it is. I don't mind cheap alternatives. In fact, a lot of the time I actually prefer cheap alternatives to the quality food products. It's just the way I've been brought up, unfortunately. But sorry, carry on.
Yeah, no, we mentioned it with cards, but I try when I can. The problem with living where I live is every single shop is a chain shop. We don't have any like people-made boutiques anymore. We don't have like independent businesses where I live at all. We have once a month, or every first and third Friday of every month, we have a little market that comes to my town. And you can buy things that have been made. There's an actual butcher that comes round, and he has little boxes where people put in an order with him, and he brings these boxes and they're labelled, and then he's also got packs of meat to sell as well, which I think is great because people are buying from him, and they're expensive, so you know that meat's usually looked after. And there's also a big veg stand, and I try and buy off her, which is a bit more expensive, but I know that it's fresh, it's grown properly, it's not just out of the supermarket and had everybody's fingers all over it and had, you know. But in terms of buying, like when me and Jed ages ago were talking about gift cards, and I was saying that, you know, you can go to the card factory and buy 10 cards for £1, or you could go to Etsy and buy a nice handmade card for £2.50. But I also don't have the availability to do that. Like, there are no little shops anymore. Every you walk down my high street and it's just chain, McDonald's chain, Nando's chain. Like, there's just nothing.
Almost like the
that you could
movies
do.
predicted it back in the 80s
Funny
and
that.
90s when they were showing us the corporations taking over. It's
Funny
weird,
that.
isn't it?
Yeah. And Vlad just said local food here is expensive, and
Yeah,
it is.
I will take a walk over, like when it's a decent day, and I've built it up a bit. I will take a walk all the way over to the farm shop, and yeah, I'll film around and show you the prices and stuff. And yeah, it's expensive, but it's quality products, and that's what you're paying for.
Joe said living properly is expensive, and Tom says, and it's sad that it is that way. It is sad that it's that way, but again, we have made it that way by wanting this abundance and complaining to the shop manager when there's no fucking carrots in stock, and making it so that we have to mass produce food. Like, we as a society have created that. Like,
well, no,
we've
women
wanted
fucked
things
that
cheaper.
up, to be fair, because once women went into the workplace, it
I don't
gave
think women did fuck that up.
opportunity for them to start taxing everyone.
No,
and like I
see,
say,
I
back in the
would
day
be.
before women were in the workplace, it only took one person to run a household.
Yeah, no.
Now,
See, when you and VB
yeah,
were talking about
I'm
this the other day,
I was doing a VB on you. I'm totally fucking with you.
It annoyed me because
it's inflation, unfortunately. Yeah, it's the way we create new money.
I would be much better off if Dan had a higher paid job and I could stay at home and look after the house. Like, me as a woman, if a woman is to fit VB's narrative that they're selfish and that they want this and they want that and they just want a man for money, I would be much better off not working and living off Dan, because I'd be able to have a perfectly clean house. I'd be able to spend more time with my son and not have to put him in after school club that cost me £200 a month. You know,
you're so backwards, Kate. You're so fucking backwards. You should want a job. You should want a career. How dare you? How dare you?
But yeah, so I don't think it was the women who wanted that. Like, as a woman, I want a pin money job. I don't know if you guys know what a pin money job is, but I think it's a 50
doctor's receptionist or something, isn't it? Like,
well, a pin money job is a coin phrase from, I think it was either the 40s or 50s, where the women would make enough money to cover the costs of her sewing, so that she could maintain fixing the children's clothes, maintaining the house via sewing. So she would make enough pin money, was what it was called, so that she could do her own hobbies and maintain the house.
That's awesome.
So she'd work probably 2 days a week.
It's better pay for her own entertainment.
She'd work 2 days a week, and it would be like a 9 till 2 kind of job, so that she could get the kids or a 10 till 2 kind of job, so she could get the kids to school and still collect the kids. But she'd just do 2 days a week just to earn her what was called pin money. Because my dad, he always calls my stepmom's wage the pin money, because my dad earns considerably more than my stepmom, but she loves her job, and she's a cleaner carer, and she absolutely loves it because she's helping out the elderly. And my cat's done a poo in the litter box and she stinks. Stinky animal.
Do you want to put a litter box down there rather than kicking it out?
Because then she pees and she poos on the carpet.
Yeah, no, my man's the same
horrible
problem.
Animals.
Yeah.
Stupid animals.
Obviously, cats
I love
are
that
disgusting
pin money.
animals.
Yeah.
They are.
Oh, they are, and they don't love me.
No, they actually don't. There's been scientific studies done, and dogs do love you, but only because they have a genetic fuck up that makes them love you. I can't remember what the exact genetic disease is, but some humans get it as well, and they're those people that are always happy, always want to be around people. They're that annoying person that's just always fucking happy. Yeah, it's actually a mental illness. Well, basically, dogs are wolves with this mental illness, basically, and that's why they love.
Vlad says my grandmother talked about pin money, and then Snowman said, yeah, women still volunteer for the National Trust, etc., as hobby jobs. And this I can't remember if I've mentioned this on here before, but I've definitely mentioned it to other people on Xbox and had like a massive rant when people complain about the female wage gap. That's not a fucking thing. That isn't
No,
a
it's
thing.
not.
As a woman, I don't want to be a lawyer, or I don't want to have a high paying job where it won't allow me to get phoned by the school at a minute's notice to come and collect my son to take him to the doctors because he's got an ear infection. You know, I, as a woman, I have the maternal instinct. I want to be stay-at-home mom. That's what I want. I want to be here for my son. And I think that is what most women do, which is why women get retail jobs or restaurant jobs where they have that extra flexibility. And with a retail job, usually you get paid between minimum wage and £9 an hour. That's just it. Whereas the male, the husband in the relationship, would usually get the much higher paid job. And that's where people bring up this fallacy of the fucking wage gap. There isn't a wage gap. The men at my work get paid the same amount. I can guarantee the men and women at D's job in the Royal Mail would get paid skill level, would get paid in a skill gap.
Well, no, it used to be that way, but now,
now everybody would. But I knew that you worked back in the day where no matter how many years you've been working there, you'd get a pay rise. So
we were
10 years would be
a
paid.
pay rise, but it was male and female were paid exactly the same. The males and females all did exactly the same jobs. Unfortunately, though, it was still, you would find the females would orientate towards the easy jobs and the men would orientate towards, be forced towards the heavy lifting jobs.
Yeah.
So it was a very sexist environment. So if anything, the men were getting paid the same for doing harder work at Royal Mail. So men were getting paid the same and getting treated worse, basically, and putting in a hell of a lot more effort.
And I
only ever met one woman that could keep up with the blokes, and that's throughout my entire working career.
I remember watching this thing called Explained on Netflix, and Netflix was talking about how some of it was valuable, others really wasn't valuable, but it was talking about how if two people graduated the same university, if a man and a woman graduated the same university at the same time, the man would get more opportunities than the woman. And half of me was like, well, obviously that's kind of true, because you don't expect the man to have to go take the kids to school. You don't expect the man to have to in our society to go and take the kids to the doctors and be off of maternity leave for 9 months to 2 years in some cases. So during that 9 months to 2 years, obviously the man's going to see more opportunities than the woman, and everything that they were kind of saying made sense, but they were saying it as though it was a bad thing. Like, I don't know a single parent, I don't know a single mother that would not take their kid to the doctors and would rather the husband took the kid to the doctors, because as a mother,
I don't know many university graduates.
I do, funnily enough, I do. But I mean,
I was I know a few.
It's, as a mom, like, even if Dan was at home and I was at work and Dan took Freddie to the doctors, I would also want to be there too. You know, like, it's just a maternal thing. It's just a mother thing. Like, in nature, it is the woman who protects the kids.
Well,
it's been ingrained
we live in
into
a
us.
welfare country. Unfortunately, it was for us. My wife didn't have to go and work because with the job I was doing, like, I mean, all right, I was paid a lot more than the hourly wage, but I was still doing like a normal job. Like, I wasn't a manager or anything like that. I was just on the floor. But we still get topped up with what was called
working families tax.
So yeah, something like that. It was a wordy title anyway. So yeah, my wife didn't have to work. She was encouraged to try and find work, but they never forced her out to find work, if you get me.
Yeah.
And yeah, so we struggled along, right? And don't get me wrong, there were times when she worked and I didn't as well. So Obviously, that wasn't as much, but again, it happens. So, but yeah, no, I mean, a lot of what we've got to be sorry for in this country is caused by the way our government works in giving handouts, if you know what I mean. Like I say, you do get this entitlement because you paid into the system. If you get me, you paid into it, you are entitled to it back. And then this is the kind of problem with it. It's a false sense of entitlement as well, because again, it's money that should have been yours anyway. If you get me, you never should have been paying into that system anyway, because when you find out where the money goes anyway, you find out it's very rarely towards anything other than paying off the debt.
Yeah. Or 12 cases, 12 bottles, which is a case of fucking £250 champagne the day that Boris Johnson's child was born. Yeah, great. Well done. Your illegitimate child was born. Congratulations. You may as well be a royal. Food over prediction. Once at auction, I paid £10 for 3 trays of chocolate brownies, 24 per tray, so 72 in total. Would cost 150 in a high street coffee shop chain for whom they were manufactured. And exactly. I think it goes to what Dee was just saying about entitlement. You walk into the shop and you feel entitled to find the item that you're looking for. Like, we no longer live seasonally. We've mentioned this before. Like, right now we'd be eating asparagus, and in 3-4 months time we'd just be eating sprouts, for example, because those would be the seasonal crops. Whereas now that we can ship and export food goods from across the world, we have this an abundance of food at our disposal, and we can choose whatever we want. And not that I think that's necessarily wrong. I think it's great that we're able to trade with other countries.
See, this is the thing. We're not just trying the foods of other countries, but now living off the foods
exactly
of other countries. This is the thing.
Exactly what I was getting.
It's all very well and nice to try it, but
and I think that we should be able to walk into a shop and, okay, peppers aren't here, never mind, we'll just change up our recipe. It's annoying, but deal with it, you know. And because
with a local shop, you used to have communication with your local shop. If like you knew you needed something, you'd ask your local shop owner, can you make sure you've got so and so in for so and so day? And your shopkeeper would go, yeah, no worries, I'll put that on the orders. And hold a few days, you'd have the item you'd asked for that you knew you'd need. Crazy that. like this what I mean. So you didn't need the items to be in the shop, is what I'm saying. You just needed to know you'd need the items, and the shopkeeper would usually accommodate.
Yeah, and Snowman's just put, is that food over production or food over pricing, as those ingredients would cost less than £10. And yeah, even less than that to make 72 brownies. That wouldn't cost a lot of money. Like,
no, you're thinking like I said, having worked in for the ice cream factory, actually I can do this one because so this would be 21 years ago. The price to make a cornetto, you know, the standard cornetto, not like the make, just the style with the wafer and the thing, 11p. That's how much it would cost to produce one of those. Yeah, and because we had warnings all over the machines, like every time you drop one of these or something, it costs 11p. And obviously by the time I finished, it was more than that, but 11p always stuck with me because that was the first one I learned. Now they would get put into a box of 4, and that box of 4 would get sold for £1.99. So you're talking about 44p getting sold for £1.99. Now the standard model used to be you double your money. That's how you made enough to continue your business and live. Nowadays, obviously, you're quadrupling, right? Tripling, quadrupling. I can't think what comes after quadrupling.
Quintupling.
Quintupling, yeah, whatever. And this is the thing. It's absolutely crazy. It is down to greed, unfortunately, because now businesses have to make money not for businesses but for shareholders.
Yeah,
this is the thing. Businesses are no longer trying to make money just for themselves anymore.
They're making to cover the cost of labour and everything. Yeah.
Oh no, see that is the biggest complaint all corporations have is having to pay their labourers, and most of the time that's warranted within a corporation because having worked in, like I say, factory settings most of my life, which tend to work for corporations, even if they weren't corporations themselves at the time, because it was all subletted and stuff, and like the factories were still usually locally owned rather than part of the business. A lot of that's changed nowadays, but oh god, I forgot my point.
Pardon. Labour costs.
Yes, yeah, labour costs. It's one of the things, like I say, they complain about the most, and it is the most warranted because most people are lazy as fuck. They don't do the job they're actually paid to do. Back in the day, obviously, I saw that as a huge major issue, like for me, because it was just frustrating, or always having to do all the fucking work and watching lazy bastards do fuck all.
Yeah.
Obviously now it's obviously because I was a programmed drone and like the people obviously weren't doing the jobs properly. They were a bit more switched on because they realised they weren't actually getting paid what they were worth, so they were only doing what they felt they were getting paid for, rather than.
So do you think
It
it's
should
better
be.
for people to be paid on a commission based? Not necessarily with units
can't
sold,
always
but units made or
do that.
production.
But no, see if. Like I say, I think that everyone within a business should be paid the same wage, from cleaner to manager, because that business cannot exist if you take any one of those cogs away. So there's no one more important than anyone else in a business. There isn't. It cannot. It doesn't matter. Like, the work's more important because they produce the goods. No, because the people who sell the goods, you wouldn't be making goods if they weren't there to sell them. And like it's so that company is just completely like you cannot take one cog out without destroying the whole company. So for me, the only fair thing to do is pay everyone the same inside that company.
Yeah.
Like I say, and this in another way, this would naturally lower the pay divide. If you know what I mean, the poor rich gap. It would lower that dramatically because then it would only matter what company you work for, not what job you do within the company. And if you get me, because you'd want to get like, all right, maybe you'd do better if you worked for Coca-Cola rather than Pepsi because Coca-Cola sell more. So ultimately you'll get paid more, but it's not going to be that much more than somebody who works for Pepsi.
Yeah.
If you get me. So it's going to bring that gap lower. Like there'd be no managers who are getting paid like hundreds of £1,000 bonuses and cleaners getting paid £7 an hour, whatever the minimum wage is now.
Would that not cripple the own businesses? You know that
No.
That wouldn't. I feel like that wouldn't cripple.
It would cripple corporations, but it would take stuff back to companies rather than corporate. See, corporations, right? Companies are just like a wood mill, a paper mill. Yeah, that they're separate companies. If somebody owns a paper mill and a wood mill, suddenly they're a corporation. Yeah, they're now owning more than one business. So this would take that away from it. There'd be no longer people owning all these different businesses. You're stuck in that business you're in. The only way if you want to be the owner of a business, there is no real owner in this. It's a cooperation between all the employees of the business.
Mm-hmm.
It's a play on socialism in a way, or communism, but without. It takes away the leader structure because everyone is getting paid the same. There's no one person in control. There's just you do your job. Right? The manager manages the workers. He's not in control of everything. If you get me, the company as a whole, everyone in that company gets a vote towards where the company goes, as long as, like I say, it's complete equality.
Hi, VB.
But again, it's pipe dream. But it wouldn't be hard for companies to switch over to that. The only difficulty would be when the shareholders, the people actually doing fuck all for the company at all, apart from providing money, would be sent out the equation. But the company itself, everyone in that company would benefit.
I see what you're saying, but I think you've misunderstood my question.
Oh,
So let's
sorry.
say Pepsi and Coca-Cola. Let's just for one
Right.
minute imagine that the only thing Pepsi and Coca-Cola own are their beverages. Just Coca-Cola the beverage and Pepsi the beverage. Okay.
Yeah, I
So
did probably use a bad example when I use those two because they are already corporations, not companies. So yeah, sorry
yeah,
about that. But yeah, go on.
so let's just assume that that's all they own and
Yeah.
all they sell. They are going to be really, really, really because they sell more things. The job market for them is going to be much more competitive than it would be for, say, Purity Brewery. Purity
Yeah.
Brewery is a really local brewery. So because they can't pay as much, Purity can't pay as much as Coca-Cola, Purity runs the risk of going out of business because they aren't getting anybody who wants to work for them when you could do just as easy a job at Coca-Cola and a desk job as you could at Purity, but you're going to go for Coca-Cola because that's what I
Yeah.
was saying. So is it not
But
going
not
to be
everyone's
harder
going
for
to be able to get. So
But-
this is what I mean. You're going to get the best employees in the most popular businesses, and you're going to get the worst. It'll be a filtration system as well. Like I said, you'll filter out any bad workers because any bad worker would be.
But does that not fuck up new businesses who are trying to set up a new business? They've got a great idea for a new shop model. Does that not fuck up like individual business owners, like your local corner shop?
Yeah, but there are like we've mentioned, there are no local shops anymore. There are no local places like that anymore. There's yeah, you got the few odd exceptions, but that's not the world we live in anymore. It's not the way the world's headed. So
yeah, so
why
would
not
we
try and
not
make
be
the
more
best
under
of?
the thumb of big companies?
We'll not know
would lose
again
that
because
choice. And
right,
but
the
if
only
all
reason
you've
big
got to
companies
choose
are a problem
between
is because of shareholders. If they were just companies, there'd be no problem. If it was just the people within the company that actually contributed to the workings of that company, it'd be okay. Like I said, it's only when shareholders get involved that it fucks things up. So if you can get rid of them, it would revert
hang on,
backwards rather than change forwards, if you get me.
Let me use the comparison between Carling. Carling is a make of beer in I don't know where it's from, but we have it here. I assume you guys have it. So let's make the comparison between Carling and Purity. Again, Purity sell amazing craft beers, and Carling sells piss water. But if you thin down people's options, that means that Carling can just produce more and more garbage. They don't actually have to produce good shit. It's the same with what we've got right now because we're choosing between X amount of supermarkets. We're more concerned about the cost of the vegetables than the quality of them.
Well, the reason we're using all these big product names is because they're corporations. They're no longer companies. So they're advertising for themselves. It's a self-perpetuating unit. Yeah, if you get rid of that, then it destroys the whole thing. Like I say, it opens up the free market again. It really, like, so I only see benefits from it. Right, maybe a rocky transition, but ultimately I only see good from it, and it's the most realistic I think idea I've had out of any, basically, because it's doable. It's a doable within our lifetime kind of thing.
No,
but
I
unfortunately it does play into big company hands. So we would move over from having it would be more like an 80s movie where the corporations, or not the corporations, each company is in control, and it'd be company wars and stuff. Maybe, like, again, that could just be the programming. I think it would be a bit more symbiotic than that, personally, but maybe I'm just a dreamer.
Every time I say that, I just want to play that "I'm a Dreamer" song. Just want to play that. Hello, NZD, and hello, VB. I didn't get to say hello to you properly because we were chatting.
VB and and ZD. Yeah, sorry, we've not had the normal kind of 1 versus 1 me show this week because my internet has just kept messing up big time. So, Cakes, thank you ever so much for keeping.
It's been a monologue. It's just been a monologue. Yeah. Honestly, if you want to watch it again, it's just been me talking, which is great because, you know, ego.
Yeah, no, again, see, this is the thing. Like, if anything, this is our best chance of doing it because people are realizing now how much they're being screwed over. So, like I say, and this is the thing, there are only a few at the top. There are more of us. So, yeah, all right. At this level we're at right now, no, it's a complete and utter pipe dream. But it wouldn't take a lot more people to get a grasp of the concept behind it, I think. For it to kind of get on a mind of its own, especially when a line worker is suddenly getting paid 5 times more than they are now. And again, it would only take a few businesses to take on this model before every business would be forced to take on the model. So it's not completely undoable, but yes, it's still in the realms of dream. Yeah. And yes, we do need some sort of revolution, unfortunately. And I rewatched Demolition Man the other day because obviously I'd done that video of it. And it's one of the most accurate predictive programming movies. Yeah, so go back and watch Demolition Man. Sylvester Stallone and Sandra Bullock. I think it was 92 or 93 it was made. And go back and watch that, and you'll be amazed at its predictive programming levels and how accurate it is for today's life and a few of the things we're talking about, i.e. no social contacts, driverless cars, thought police, as in there's machines everywhere that monitor what you say, and if you say the wrong thing you get fined. I mean, it's just spot on in so many ways. It's crazy.
Vicnoid says she thinks one of the worst grocery stores is Aldi's. It's affordable but low quality. That's crazy because here Aldi's. That's why I was like the CT. I wasn't too sure if I always forget where people are from, but here Aldi's is one of the better stores in terms of quality of like fresh produce. I find that the food's much better. If you agree.
I'm not.
You don't shop at Aldi, though, do you?
Yeah, we've got an Aldi. But the only thing I like from there is they do a 4 cheese thin and crispy pizza.
That is good. I used to eat that. My stepmom used to buy that all the time. Yeah, my stepmom used to buy that all the time.
It's like a fromage quatre or something like that. It's not like it's so, but yeah, I'm not a massive thing.
Yeah, no, I did just Aldi's and Lidl are both so good. Like for beer and everything, it's cheap, but it tastes exactly the same. Like exactly the same. It's great.
It doesn't taste exactly the same. Like I say, I mean, there's no other Kellogg's cornflakes cornflake that tastes like Kellogg's. There isn't. They all taste shite compared to Kellogg's. None of them crunch. They all crack. It's disgusting. But like I say, I mean, all right, I don't exactly eat cornflakes anymore. But that was a big example for me because I was always trying to get palmed off with the cheap stuff. Like I say, because we weren't very well off. So I very rarely got cornflakes.
So
there's nothing else quite like cornflakes, and nothing else quite like Coca-Cola. There's nothing else quite like any brand name. They all taste well.
See, I somewhat disagree, but somewhat
I wouldn't
agree.
say they're better quality and stuff because, all right, I like I usually like the what do you call it? The non-branded crisps maybe, or supermarket ice creams, if you know what I mean, generally almost as good. All right, they're definitely, like I say, you definitely get a better quality when you're paying for the Ben and Jerry's and that kind of stuff. But they're doable anyway.
Yeah, see, if you go from like a Magnum, the shop Magnum's the same as a Magnum. It's chocolate covered in ice cream. But tomato ketchup, I will not eat tomato ketchup unless it's Heinz. No way in hell will I have tomato sauce that's not Heinz. And like,
see, I'm not too bad with tomato sauce. I'm not like tomato soups and stuff. I actually prefer usually the cheaper stuff. Like I say, there's a lot of stuff where I do prefer the cheaper stuff, even though what I will admit that ultimately the branded stuff is better.
Yeah, see, the milk that I have, I prefer the Alpro milk to the store soy milk. And I can't actually
I'm
think
sure
of
we
it.
said
We
hello
don't
to you
have many
earlier, Lee.
brands. I did, Lee. You were first here. You don't get a second.
Yeah,
hello.
he was first. That's
Um,
why I knew we
Oh,
would mention you.
Tetley as well. Unless it's one of my fancy T2 teas, the only tea I will drink is Tetley. Like there's just no other. There's no
They
other
all
tea
pretty
that's
much
worth it.
taste the same to
No,
me.
they don't.
I've
No,
tried them all.
no.
Yeah, there's not
I
much
completely
difference, but I
disagree.
have a lot of sugar, so it kind of overweights
Yeah,
the
that's
taste
true.
of the tea.
Yeah. Whereas, like, if I go to my dad's house, he doesn't have Tetley anymore. He always used to buy Tetley and stop buying it. And he has like Lidl's coffee. If I have a coffee, it's a proper.
Oh, my mum's got to have gold blend.
No,
Yeah, my mum's
garbage.
got to have a gold blend.
No, it's disgusting. Yeah. But instant coffee, we
I
found a
don't
nice
really
instant
drink
coffee
it,
the other
so.
day. But the only coffee that I will drink is proper filtered coffee, where you properly, make it all. I'm so tempted to time her out.
I just did. Go fuck yourself, Jen, you fascist fucking bitch. Go fuck off. Go to your own fucking fake fucking channel, you fake fucking bitch.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce you to our first ever censorship on 1 versus 1 me. Well done, Jed. You have achieved greatness on this channel to be censored by You have to have pissed us
Dan,
off.
how's it going, man?
Yeah, right, Dan. How's things? Good tea when foreign is hard to find. Bring your own Tetley. What? I will bring my Tetley. Yeah, I will bring my Tetley. But no, I have like a creme brulee tea over there. I've got a popcorn tea here. I've got a New York breakfast tea. I have so much tea, it's ridiculous. I need to stop. It's a problem.
I probably drink tea almost less than I drink alcohol now, because for some reason, like, my brother keeps bringing beers around and leaving them in the fridge, and Mum's been buying beers every so often. So I've been drinking beers every now and then now. So I'm actually drinking more alcohol than I do tea. And I used to not drink a lot of alcohol, and I still don't. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's not like I'm sat here drinking every night or anything like that. It's not even close. But,
But my alcohol as well, like, I won't drink shop alcohol. I also won't drink Smirnoff vodka. That is disgusting. If anybody ever brings Smirnoff vodka to my house, you'll be banished. Honestly, I will kick you
that
out.
was the only vodka I used to drink.
It's paint stripper. It's disgusting. Yeah. No, you have Russian Standard or Grey Goose are the lowest standards that will be in this house.
The choices of vodka have gone through the roof since I gave up drinking.
Yeah.
You didn't miss much, Flads. Yeah, but that's just Jamie's mum, and she's one of the fakest people you'll ever meet. So and she timed me out on Jamie's the other day because she's a fascist Nazi. So yeah, she can go fuck herself.
Yeah. Here, I should show you my bag of Tetley as well. I have a problem.
That's a fucking big. The 420, look. Fucking hell, right. That's a sign. That's a sign.
It's my bag of tea.
Bag, that would literally probably last me a decade.
It lasts me about 3 months. And that's with drinking my fancy teas as well. Do have a problem. But like Ribena as well. Ribena's the other name, another named. But no, that's not even lockdown tea.
Yeah,
that's
no, it's what I drink. Right?
Yeah, this was.
And that
Ribena,
is diluted.
literally.
Yeah.
That's not diluted. That's so strong. Like, you must put like that much in it.
No,
that's
right.
sickening.
No, I put like it's just bad light as well. You got to remember, I've got light shining at it from the ring light as well. It is pretty clear.
I have a ring light.
No, it's just showing up the reflection. But anyway, no, I put look, I put that much Ribena in, so you can see the whole bottle.
That's a lot of Ribena. Yeah, that's more Ribena than I use. I don't like it really sweet though. We've established this. You like sweet tea, I don't.
They took all the sugar out of Ribena, unfortunately, the bastards. It's now it's not asbestos. Not asbestos, of course it's not fucking asbestos. It's not the other aspartame, that's the one. It's where is it?
Stevia.
Sucralose.
Sucrose. Yeah. But no, that's not my lockdown tea.
No, they've added the other fucker, the Ace a Sulflame K. I think that's a bad one. I'm sure they didn't have that in it, fuckers.
Anyway, no, that's not my lockdown tea. That is just the tea that I usually buy. There's no point buying the smaller packs because I'd be buying tea every week. So that massive bag of tea stays on my table, and I fill up the tea caddy that's in the kitchen every couple of days. Yeah, it's bad. But I drink like 3 to 4 of these, and this is an 800ml bottle as well.
Oh yeah,
so
no, I drink 2 of those a day.
I drink a lot of fluid,
so
a lot of liquid,
what's
many
850 milliliters. So I drink 1700 milliliters a day. Don't know whether that's a lot or too much or not enough, but it's what I drink.
It's 2 liters is what you should drink a day.
No, I definitely don't drink 2 liters. I'm not active enough to need 2 liters. That's an average person, I'm sure. Yeah.
Yeah, the average person should drink 2 liters. I have 3 to 4 of these, but that's just because I'm a thirsty girl. But yeah, is it true Donald Rumsford? I'm not sure. Yeah. You should drink when you are thirsty.
Well, the trouble is, I
usually
smoke the bong a lot, so yeah, it dries the mouth out. So every time I have a bong, I usually have a little sip of drink to chase it, basically. Yeah.
Yeah, I am usually always thirsty, or I just like the taste of Ribena as well. So I'm going to drink it.
I'm not as big since they replaced the sugar with that sweetener. I'm not as fussed with it, but it's still the best blackcurrant out there.
Does this Ribena get mixed with water? And yeah, it's a dilute. It's a we call it squash over here.
Yeah, I call it cordial still. That's what I think of in my head. Unfortunately, that's what I grew up with.
Squash is a Brummy thing. Squash is a Brummy thing. Like gambol. Do you know what a gambol is?
Nope.
It's a head over roly poly. That's what a gambol is. But it's a Brummy word. And gully. You wouldn't know what gully is either because that's a Brummy word.
Well, gully wife. I know what gully wife is.
Nope. I actually can't think of the non-Brummy word. It's the strip between two houses.
It's not
a concentrate. It's an alleyway. A gully is an alleyway, but we call it a gully.
Oh, right,
we just have different words for things like gambol, gully, squash. I may as well be talking a different language.
But no, the only reason I have this bottle like this is because I can't be asked to go and get a water bottle like Cakes has got and filling up that glass. I wouldn't want to keep running down every time I needed a little glass of drink, so I just fill up a bottle and
I just like drink it from the hole like a normal person with a bottle.
Oh no, I do like the taste of stuff from a glass. I don't like drinking out of plastic if I can avoid it.
Well, this is a BPA BPA free plastic.
No, it just changes the flavour. When you put, it's like if you eat off a wooden spoon rather than off a.
I agree.
It makes the food taste different if you get me. It's because you're actually putting that plastic in range of taste senses.
Me and my brother have always said that Pepsi or Coca-Cola is much better from a can than it is from a plastic bottle. So even if like a 2-litre plastic bottle is cheaper than a can, I'll always buy the cans because they just taste better.
The drink doesn't come in contact with the metal.
Does it not?
No. There's a thin plastic lining inside that can.
That's amazing. It still tastes better though. Maybe
because you're putting metal. You're still putting that metal lip close to your taste buds and stuff.
Possibly, so, yeah. But also, like a bottle just goes flat too quickly. You know.
Oh, sorry. Useless fact, but I found it quite interesting. We can smell rain better than sharks can smell blood.
That's fun. Do you know what rain actually is? The smell of rain is. Do you know what it is?
Earth. It's the earth.
It's not. No, it's not.
Well, no, it's something that's in the earth as well, because apparently okay, go on.
It's the so when when we have a drought or when it hasn't rained for a few days and plants need to be watered, they will produce an oil just to kind of protect themselves from the sun, almost like a sun cream. And when it rains, that's the smell that we're smelling. It's called petrichor. So there you go. That's what it is.
Oh. Well, anyway, yeah, it's something that we smell better than anything
Oh,
else.
what did she say? I missed it.
Oh, just she said hello to Jamie.
Oh, no. I refuse.
I should just block her,
Hi,
really,
Jamie.
but
Nah, it's fun.
more fun time than her out each time. She's a glutton for punishment. I say she's so fake. She's still here, trying to pretend. Oh, no, I'm not affected. Oh.
I'm not offended.
I didn't.
Going to cry myself to
I
sleep.
didn't get so pissed off once. I was going to send somebody down to beat you up, Dee.
What?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, Jennifer. No. Jamie, we've had to mute your mum because she's a pain in the butt. But that is not an incitement on our relationship with you.
I got rid of her because she's a tyrant and she's fake as fuck. But Jamie knows I don't like his mum, so.
But I just so he knows that that's not a reflection on him. Vegetables.
Oh no, Jamie is an individual. Yeah.
Yeah. But I needed to make sure that he knew that. So you know. And hello, Rocker Gamer, Gaming. No.
Oh,
We'll
yeah. How you
soon.
going, Rocker? No, yeah, we are finishing soon, unfortunately.
Because he's fidgeting.
I don't know how we've carried on this long.
I don't know.
Because
we were chatting about loads of things.
Well, you've kept it on, to be fair, because most of the time
I am the best. I won't deny that.
Yeah, yeah. This was a bit of a bad show for me tonight, guys. I've been. They've been cutting me off tonight. They've been trying to silence me. No, it's just my internet's been shit.
Yeah, VB, we did the Black Lives Matter at the beginning of this, but I'm sure you'll rewatch it eventually. But we did that at the beginning, and then you'll probably be just as angry as we are. So we'll catch you properly on Saturday.
Wait, sorry, what's the Black Lives NM?
Black Lives No Matter. I don't know.
Yeah. So I'm an all life matters kind of guy myself. So yeah.
He says eating chickens.
Yeah, no, they matter because they feed me.
Oh, that's my cat. I'm kicking my cat. God damn it. I was like, what's this hard thing on the floor? It's the cat. They're all around. I'm not too sure what you're on about vegetables screaming before death.
Yeah, I think I've seen that one debunked as well. Paul's just put it there. But again, this is the thing. Do they put these debunked videos out to lessen the real knowledge? Like I say, to hide the fact that everything is energetically connected, if not consciously connected.
Yeah.
Right. I hope I said that right.
Let's wrap this up, I think, because I really.
Well, have you got any final thoughts then?
I need a wee.
Right, well, Cakes needs a wee, so thanks ever so much for tuning in, guys.
Have a lovely day, week. Yeah, we'll see you on Saturday on Jed's. Probably in the week on either VB's or Vlad stream or Jed stream or whoever's streaming in the week. Be good, don't die. VB, please eat some food. Thank you very much, and we'll see you later.
Bye.
Double click.